Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about our thoughts about friendship, money, in the context of the B.Simone recent interview with her friend that is taking the internet by storm.
Listen here, man. Me and Blair been talking about this. We talk about it with ourselves. We talked about it with our friends and things of that nature. And now we forgot our other friends. You get what I'm saying? Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Blair, you know what I'm thinking?
What's up?
I think I am against transparency, right? I think we have a lot of podcasts out. We have a lot of people who are coming on social media in the name of transparency, and I am anti-transparency now.
I'm curious to hear in what ways.
I mean, like, there are some conversations that I think we should not be privy to. I think there are some feelings that I should not know. I just feel like people are doing things in the name of transparency, and it's all coming out as weird because at the end of the day, you're not being transparent. You're being weird. Overall, I watched this interview. I watched it in parts. I watched it in clips. I watched a good middle portion of it just to get some some feelings about it because I seen everybody mad at both of these people. Everybody mad at B.Simone and everybody mad at her best friend, right? Overall, based off the clips and the things that you've seen, Blair, what is your overall feelings on the interview and things like that?
Overall, geez, I feel like I want to talk piece by piece.
Okay.
But overall, I just feel like it comes down to what you view friendship as.
That's true.
Number one, what responsibility you hold for your friendships, and not only responsibility, but what care do you have for the people that you consider your own?
Yeah.
And when you care for people who you consider your own, what are you willing to do for them beyond your comfort zone or beyond what is expected of you?
Yeah.
So
let me take a quote from this interview. This is the most famous quote, the quote that's going around everywhere that B.Simone Bestfriend said, right?
Yeah.
She said, being a best friend with a celebrity, everybody thinks that because you are connected with this person, your life is just as grand as theirs. I want to stop there. Who is everybody?
Maybe people on the internet, or maybe that's exactly what it is, because I'm trying to think what regular person in real life would think that.
Nobody would.
And I would think it maybe people on the internet because they see you around them all the time, so maybe they assume because you're posted up hanging with them that y'all live similar lifestyles. Maybe. Is that right?
No.
Alec? Trebek?
No.
Or Steve? Whoever's
zero.
got the show.
All right. That's what I think. That's what happens when people build these facades in their head and things like that. They say things like this. To me, this is a stupid quote. Being best friends with a celebrity, everybody thinks that because you are connected with this person, your life is just as grand as theirs. First of all, no one put that on you because, number one, your friend is the celebrity. So why do I care about anybody else that's connected to B.Simone if she is the eye candy and things like that? So that's why I'm like, no, you thought that being connected to your celebrity friend, that your life will be as grand as theirs. And that lets me know, oh, okay, I know where this is going. And then we go down this list of things that happened to this friend. And granted, these things are unfortunate. But she said,
list of unfortunate events.
Oh no, definitely.
Yeah.
She didn't have a job for like a year or so. She had to move back in with her parents. She was a single mom. She had her car repossessed. She was put on food stamps and she was on Medicaid. And she was feeling some type of resentment, but she was praying to God, basically like, I don't want to feel resentment because she's seen B.Simone give out checks, right? And she just wondered like, hey, I see you give people money. What about me? What is your thoughts on just this list of things right here?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that she came on hard times. And I think that in life there are great times, there are setbacks, there are things you have to bounce back from. And I think you did mention that she was living with her parents with her child, right? Yeah. So I honestly feel like in a position like that, I think that you're very blessed to have parents who can house you in order for you to get back on your feet. And I think that is one of the greatest resources to have, is to not have to pay rent.
Facts.
In order for you to figure out your job situation, pay down debts and get yourself in order for yourself and your family. So I think that she was given the biggest gift by being able to live back with her parents. And when it comes to a friend and seeing that your friend has been giving out other money to other people, like in front of you, so to speak, that can be hurtful. Absolutely. Especially if they know you're in a tough position and they're just handing out money. Now, I think it also comes down to the timeline of, was the money flowing as great during that time that you were in need for your celebrity friend, or was it not? And I think another thing is that, did you ask for help? Did you ask for assistance? And I think that a portion of the interview, because I kind of just clipped my way through it, was where she was saying that in their friendship, sometimes she doesn't want to have to ask. She wants her friend to be able to see a need and to be there for her, not necessarily financially, but, just come over, just be with me, just be there. And I think that there is a beauty to having somebody who can be in tune with you in that way.
Yeah.
But I think there's a reality that people are stuck in their heads, in their world, and providing for their immediate surroundings, whether it's a cousin, a sibling, a parent even.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes as a friend, it does you well to speak up. I think it does you well to speak up. And if your friend was to say, hey, I can't make it shake, or I'm not going to be able to support you financially, but maybe we can have some conversations about strategizing. That's kind of my position.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm more of the, let's break it down and strategize and see how we can attack this thing bite by bite. So that way we can get you in a better position. So
here's my thing. You said a lot, and I want to break down a lot of what you said.
Okay.
Right? You said there's a beauty when it comes to a relationship to where you can just feel and just be there for each other, right? Yeah, I call that marriage. Yeah, I call that romantic relationships, right? If this is a platonic relationship, and yes, I understand that we are besties, BFFs, right? Don't look at me and be like, you don't see me struggling? Yes, I see you struggling, but I also see you in your parents' house. We need to normalize going back home to our mamas and daddies, because those are the ones that birthed us. You get what I'm saying? I understand that we want to put on a facade and want to put on this whole look that, all is well, and you don't want to let mom and dad know that basically I have been running away from the repo man for 3 months and things of that nature. Can I hide this car in the back? But at the end of the day, I'm not saying that your parents are forever responsible for you, but they have a title called mom and dad, right? That's why my sign say, don't call me first, call me 31st.
Okay.
Meaning after you call your mom, your dad, your aunts, your uncle, your cousin, grandparents, your pastor, all your mentors and things of that nature, then you call me. Don't let me, based on my status, because I am a celebrity, be your first call. No, whoa. And that's why I like your sign, because now you pocket watching me.
Yeah.
You watching me give out checks to people that I don't know, which is easier to give. I don't know them, right? No matter if I had the money flowing or not. I don't know them, so it may be easier just to give a one-off to somebody besides giving money and sowing into a money pit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Are you the friend that basically resents me because I'm giving out my money to somebody else and not you? That kind of lets me know what type of friendship we on. That kind of lets me know that, hey, I can't invite you back to my house because you're going to be looking at my art on the wall. You're going to be looking at my stuff in the house, my gadgets and things. Oh, you got a see-through fridge and things like that. Whole time you hide in your car. So that's why I'm like, for one, are y'all even really best friends? You get what I'm saying? Because there was a lot of like talking out of both sides of each other's mouths and things like that I was like, I don't think y'all best friends. Also, one thing that you said when it come down to living with your parents, you don't have to deal with rent. I think we underestimate and we undervalue a roof over our heads, right? And I understand it's not for me to judge the friend. I don't know nothing about the friend. Only thing I know is that she said she's a single mom and things like that. I would like to know where's baby daddy and where's baby daddy when it comes to, his child. You know what I mean? Like, this is not just, you who got to move back in with your mom and parents. This is his child that got to move back in. So I want to know where he's at when it comes to you falling on hard times and things like that. There's nothing wrong with...
He should be the call before B.Simone.
At least 4.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Mom, dad, grandma, and then maybe baby daddy. Who knows, right? But at least that, brother, sister. So that's why I'm like, when I hear these things such as being a best friend with a celebrity, everybody thinks you are connected. Because everybody thinks you are connected with this person, your life will be as grand as theirs. That's why you look at food stamps as like, ugh. That's why you look at Medicaid as like, and things like that. Not as a natural resource that like we vote for and things like that.
When people fall on hard times.
That's what it's for.
Yeah.
When you lose a job, right, you know what you got to do? Especially if you get fired and things of that nature. The benefit of being fired is that you get to go to unemployment and then you get a check. And people don't want to go to unemployment because it's a shame thing. But whole time, that's your money.
Yeah.
That's your money getting taken out of every check.
Yeah. That
when you fall on hard times like this, you don't have to look at me, B.Simone.
Okay.
You go.
Jesus.
Dude, you know what I would do? I would say, girl, go get your money.
Yeah.
Your money is at the unemployment office. You get what I'm saying?
They got thousands waiting
for you. Unless you haven't been working. You know what I mean? But my thing is, I think we need to normalize going back to your parents' house and not looking at that as shameful. In video games, guess what? You lose a life, you start over the board, but that doesn't mean the game is over, right?
Yeah. Now,
she's talking about how, because whenever people go through hard times and things like that, they always say, you know what, God had to show me this. And, I really couldn't get no handout, even though, parents helping you move back in. That's the biggest handout. Yeah. But, you know what I mean? And she basically said, like, I couldn't really look to you to basically help me out. I had to let God take me through this season, right? Then we move on to the friend. The friend that fell on hard times. She finally got an opportunity one time, and she called B.Simone to let her know, hey, girl, I got this opportunity. What you think about it? And B.Simone was basically like, to paraphrase how they told us in the podcast interview, she was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then she hung up. And B.Simone said she felt convicted, and then she called her back. And then that's when she was like, I don't know what I feel. Maybe it's jealousy, but I just felt bad. And that's when I'm like, are y'all best friends? Because, for one, that's weird. And then B.Simone goes on to say that she felt some type of way because she wanted to be the one to give her friend an opportunity and things of that nature, and that someone else gave her an opportunity, and now she feels bad because you're like, you supposed to be looking to me to help you out. Now I'm very confused by this point in the interview. What is your thoughts on that alone right there?
Yeah, I think one thing I want to preface this by saying is that I heard somewhere out there, I don't even know if it was included, but if this is something that was, part of the dynamic was that B.Simone didn't know that she was in the hard time during the hard time. Yeah. So maybe she wasn't able to reach out to help her in the way that she would have wanted to. But even regardless if that was the case or not, when your friend calls you to tell you that she has an opportunity, how does that have anything to do with you and your hand?
Yeah.
Like, to me, and maybe once you become a certain position of a boss, or you think of yourself as a boss in that way, you do get excited to put other people on and to see other people prosper and do well and all that type of stuff. But it's not just that. It's coming from a selfish, self-absorbed kind of place. And that, I'm glad she got the conviction on it to call her back in order to clear it up and actually give her the praise that she deserved for something that she worked hard for. But yeah, that is a strange reaction to somebody telling you good news about something that happened to them. And I would kind of like question B.Simone in the way of basically, I think that they might work together as well. Okay. Because she was saying that she's pushing for like her team to stay together, and it's been a hard time like trying to keep people at her current place that she's, employing them, for her, like for long periods of time. And the friend is just saying like, yeah, we're kind of like sick of hearing all this team talk and all that type of stuff. And it's just like, do you just want to kind of harbor people to yourself, or do you want them to actually gain the experience they need to gain from you and then continue on in their journey? And I think that, yes, it's great to have a good team that you feel like is solid, but you don't own nobody.
No, well, she wants,
and maybe like as you're hiring people, they can be interns or mentees underneath them. So like it could be a whole system, and you don't have to pay interns. You know what I'm saying? It could be a whole situation.
I'm gonna tell you this: if you don't pay interns in 2025, you don't have no interns.
Well, yeah,
right? That's a whole. It's expensive out here. A whole different type of discussion.
Yeah,
the whole inner workings of why she's losing team members it's rather a good thing or like a bad thing. Right? Truth be told, if they feel like you are the winning team and they can win with you, they will stay with you.
Right.
That's usually how it goes in business. I feel like I can get somewhere, so I'm going to stay with this team because I feel like, you know what? I like my leader. I like my job. I like my pay. There's a lot of things that people can look to and be like, this is why I will stay. Now, if B.Simone is having a lot of high turnover and things like that, I think she don't need to look at people at leaving. I think she need to look at herself and say, how can I make my employees like work-life balance better?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Can I pay them more? Can I give them more? Is this a winning team? Is this a sinking ship? We gonna talk about that later on. But I think there's a lot of things to where, like B.Simone even mentioned, to where she's like, hey, when I hire you, I want you to tell me, like, be transparent with me. People love that word. Like, how long you gonna be here for, so I know how to use you in that allotted time. And I'm just
that's not realistic.
That's not real life.
Yeah.
Like, now people gonna be making documentaries talking about surviving B.Simone and things like that, because you over here talking about something. Well, since you only gonna be here for 9 months, you go work 10 hours a day. It's just like, no, it's like, I think what happens is once you're in survival mode, people can feel that you're in survival mode, and then they go into survival mode for themselves.
Well, yeah.
They be like, whoa.
Like, this don't feel stable.
People getting laid off.
She wear H&M now?
Exactly.
What's going on?
So people be like, you know what? Zip recruiter. You know what I'm saying? So that's when people start looking for other jobs.
Right.
Now, let's not lose the main plot. I think we gave y'all 16 minutes of an intro, right?
Oh, we did. Okay.
This is the main question that I want to know. If you are B.Simone in this position, you are the celebrity that has the money, that has the influence and things like that, and your friend is on hard times living with their parents, are you going to be the one to give them money for them to be out of the position that they're in? Are you that friend for your best friend? They say they best friends.
Yeah.
Are you the one to give someone money?
Yeah, for my best friend. And if I am in a position to where I have money to give, I will give some money. I'm not going to give enough to like change your life.
Okay.
But I feel comfortable giving enough, maybe 1,000 to 5,000.
1,000 to 5,000. Okay.
To kind of give you breathing room.
You
know, so like you can chill out on some of your bill payments. Maybe it brought some of those things down. Maybe, you know, it got your car from being repossessed, just something so that way you can kind of have your head about you a little bit better. But if I'm in a position to where I'm, you know, got my apartment, trying to make ends meet for myself, trying to, you know, move and shake some things for myself and my family, we gonna be brainstorming. Let's talk on this phone, girl. We can talk for an hour or two and we can figure it out, because I don't have the funds to freely give in that way, but we'll make it a joint effort to make sure that you get to a better place.
Well, based on the friend here, I don't want to change the scenario. She said, I see you cut checks for other people.
Yeah. So I would cut a check.
I need to know more about this friend, right? Because what she said kind of lets me know where her mind is at. And I just cannot get out of because I'm connected with this person, they think my life is as grand as theirs. And I'm like, there is no they. That's a straw man. You expect your life to be as grand as mine. And I need to know, how humble is this friend? Because when I help you, I'm not going to help you in the way that you want to be helped. Meaning that when I help you, you will still be living with your parents. When I help you, you will eventually get a car payment again.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? When I help you, you still will need to go out and get a job. Meaning that 5,000 can only go so far.
Yeah.
When I help you, guess what? You can't come with us on a trip. When I help you, you can't come with us to when we go eat at these steakhouse and things of that nature, because you are in survival mode. And that's the thing about it. I think this friend, if I was to just guess, right, I think she just wanted... I understand that she didn't want to feel resentment, and I guess it's a natural feeling to feel resentment if you see somebody giving money to strangers and things like that. But I want to question why resentment, though, especially if we're going to go off of the interview where you just said, I just feel like you should feel that you should help me, or that you should see where I'm at. And that kind of gives me entitlement more than like help. Like, because I am the best friend, you should feed me first before you feed the stranger with a check, right?
Well, I will say that emotions aren't always logical.
Not at all.
And so I feel like sometimes we feel things that we, of course, need to go to God and pray about. We need to get convicted about. We need to read something and shift our mindset about, because our emotions can run amok over our lives. So that's why I'm like, I'm not harping too much on people's like her initial feeling of basically like, you know, it didn't feel great to see you giving money to these people and all that type of stuff, because I'm sure it didn't feel great.
I would have cut that to myself. I ain't gonna hold you.
But I will say this, and that's the thing with you saying like, let's chill out with the transparency as well, because even with B.Simone calling her back and saying that, you know, I felt away when you told me about your opportunity. No, I need you to workshop that individually and come back to me with some balloons.
Yeah, please.
Okay? Because I don't need
and a clap.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. For my new opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need you to work out some of your individual issues and things that you're going through, so that way you can show up the best way you can possibly.
Yes.
And yes, there are some conversations to where if it is something that involves the both of us, to where we need to make sure we're on the same page, that's one thing. But personally, I don't need to understand all your ups and downs of how you brought me a cake to my my new job opportunity or like my promotion. I don't need to know how you got here to bring me this cake.
No.
Just bring me the cake.
Also, I want to address the fact, because I seen some comments saying that how come B.Simone didn't give her a job, right? If your friend is in need and if you don't want to give them money, give them a job. Who is this friend? Are they qualified for the job? Because the worst thing that I can do is give someone a job that they don't know how to do. Yeah. Right? Oh, I'm sure B.Simone could have made her an assistant. Well, there is no assistant that I'm going to pay this much just to get her out her little hole in one day. Like I'm not cutting you a $150,000 check to get you out this hole, right? For one, if I hire you to work for me, number one, I like my team, so I'm not going to be so quick to just add somebody to my team and things like that. Number two, if I hire you to work for me, that's the key word right there. I wonder, can you work for me? A lot of friends and best friends can work with you.
Right.
But can they work for you?
Yeah.
Meaning that there's an expectation, there's a clear power dynamic of who the boss, and if you can't listen and do not act, I know your car about to get repossessed, but don't ask me for a ride. You know what I mean? I'm not driving one of my employees to work when I'm the boss, you know? So now I put you in a position to where I completely change our friendship, and now it's basically employer-employee. And maybe in some positions, in some situations, that will actually be worse. So I'm not even going to put that on you that you work for me, because I'm serious about my money.
Yeah.
Because I ain't got no mama and daddy house to go back to. No shade, but I'm just saying, I don't have no mama and daddy house to go back to. Now, after we got through the best friend problems, now we hear some of B.Simone problems, right? B.Simone was crying, and this is why I say take away transparency for now. She was crying on the internet, y'all, because she said that there was a time in her life to where the money wasn't money. You get what I'm saying? And she said that she was in Bloomingdale's, and then she told her team, we have to go shop at H&M. And she was crying, right? And of course, the internet don't forget anything. They forget her 9-to-5 dating a man who have a 9-to-5 rant, and where she says, I can't date a 9-to-5 man because we don't have the same mindset. She said that she is an entrepreneur. If one thing you know about B.Simone, she loves to say she's an entrepreneur. It's almost like a crown, right? She said she's an entrepreneur, and because she is an entrepreneur, she needs another entrepreneur that can understand her mindset. Someone who has the same lifestyle, meaning that she wants to have a man to where they both in the bed at 3 o'clock in the morning working on their business, right? Yeah. And that lets me know, how much of an entrepreneur are you? Because that is not realistic, right? When it comes to being an entrepreneur, for one, your income is so volatile, right? You have it
scary.
Exactly, right? That 9-to-5, truth be told, you will actually have more of a cushion to actually be able to do what you want to do as an entrepreneur if you are teamed up with somebody who have a 9-to-5 and things of that nature. Yeah. But if you only view it as something, as some type of crown of glory and things like that, like, oh, look at us, we are entrepreneurs and we can just get on a flight and go somewhere. That's not really how entrepreneur goes. Like right now, she's dealing with trying to keep a team together, right? Those are the real problems of an entrepreneur. But how did you feel about B.Simone on the internet crying about going to H&M instead of Bloomingdale's?
Yeah. I mean, number one, I know if I have Bloomingdale's money before I get into Bloomingdale's.
Facts.
So you won't catch me crying in the store talking about where the H&M at. I wouldn't have gone there in the first place.
Facts.
But at the same time, I feel like that can be a hard pill to swallow once you've reached a certain amount of success and income, and all of a sudden you feel like you've fallen on your face of middle class.
Wow.
But the thing is, it's so
it's superficial.
It's not only is it superficial, it's just tone deaf, especially to the times of what's going on in the world right now, with people being laid off from jobs, eggs costing $20 a carton. It's ridiculous out here. So for her to say that, it literally was laughable. It really was. Yeah. So, but the thing is, hey, her struggles are her struggles. I'm not coming for her struggles in any type of way, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, this could have been a conversation just with you and your homegirl.
I'm coming for it, and this kind of lets me know why your team is jumping ship off your company, right?
Okay.
Because you're tone deaf, as Blair would say, and you don't really know who your fan base is, right? Like, the people who made you who you are, you know, with the whole supporting you and things of that nature, how you got your personality on social media, these are not people that only shop at Bloomingdale's.
Yeah.
Like, these are regular 9-to-5 folks. These are regular people who shop at H&M. Now we got Fashion Nova. Now we got Shein. Now we got Amazon. So a lot of people are not shopping at Bloomingdale's unless, you know, you are part of that life and things of that nature, right? So that's why I'm like, I will give her flack and will not give her bail out of jail for crying on Al Gore's internet, talking about how I thought she was going to say her card got declined.
Yeah.
We didn't even make it to the register.
Yeah.
She just was like, I got to go to H&M. And I'm just like, okay, it's not the end of the world. You're just in a volatile state with your money. And guess what? You're an entrepreneur. That is the reality of it. And I think it is tone deaf. And I think it's like, I wonder, like, it's almost like every 3 years, B.Simone resurfaces as something different, doing something else. Right now, she's into, like, you know, religion, very spiritual stuff. And it's like, I wonder if she know herself. And I wonder if she's in a position to, like, is she in a position for someone to tell her, like, hey, let's not put this out.
Yeah.
Like,
let's just clip it right here.
I understand that we just talked for an hour and y'all cried and everything, and this was a great episode, but let's not put this episode out.
Yeah.
Because, like, you are a personality, like, on social media, so basically people gotta like your personality for you to basically grow and make money. And it's just like every 3 years we find something to harp on what B.Simone says, and that's why I say let's take away transparency, right? We don't need to know everything. Her and her friend, I think her friend name is Shekinah, things like that. Hey, Shekinah, I understand that you thought your life was going to be grand because at one point, you know, once a black person get on, they say, hey, guess what? We all going out and I'm paying for it, and you thought that was going to be your normal life, and then you're in the back at Mama and Papa's house. I understand that. But, hey, let's all make better decisions, right? And let's understand that, hey, these little hiccups that we have in life, there are people going through real things besides being able to shop at Bloomingdale's compared to H&M.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Any other thoughts about lending your friends money, opportunities, all the above?
Yeah. I just kind of want to say, like, you never want to put your money in a money pit.
Yeah.
So and not to say this is their situation, because we're kind of talking as a context in the whole situation. So if you see that, you know, you've helped a friend out, you've had conversation with friends, and it's really done nothing, then, you know, sometimes you kind of got to move out the way and allow life to teach.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know,
oh yeah,
and it is what it is, and you know, you pray for the best.
Oh yeah, 100% right. Yeah. There's definitely some friends that are money pits. They don't believe they're money pits.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? They want to be the friend that doesn't believe in working a cashier, that doesn't believe in pushing a cart, that doesn't believe in driving Uber, but they want to be they want to be COO of your company.
Exactly.
Why?
Yeah.
Because we're best friends? No. You're 100% right. Let's listen. Let's normalize telling our broke friends and our bummy friends, no, go back home to mommy and dad and restart, right?
Yes. Get a job.
Right?
A 9 to 5. It's okay. It's not scary. I promise. The check's gonna come every 2 weeks.
Unless you work for the government and they shut it down.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. No. Listen here. Even 9 to 5 people struggling, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So like my thing is this. Hey, let's normalize. Go back home to mama, papa. right? Don't call me the best friend. Don't call me first. Call me 31st, right? Because when you call me, I'm going to say, what did your mama say? What did your daddy say? What did your pastor say? What did grandma say?
What the baby daddy say?
Both grandmas. I know both their parents still alive. Like, I need to know
Auntie,
everything.
cousin, uncle.
Yes. Even the play cousin you got.
Right.
I need to know what everybody say, and then I'm still going to say no.
Oh,
right?
my goodness.
And truth be told, I think we do need to normalize of, hey, I see how you move, and I see how you handle your money. You don't respect money. So, like, no. Me, honestly, to answer the question that I asked Blair that I really never answered in detail, will I give someone money? No. Give me a bill. I pay a bill, right? I pay a bill, and depending where you are in life and things like that, let's say if you are with mom and dad, you're safe. So I'm not worried about I'm not worried about what you eat and things like that. But if you're like on the street and things like that, we can work some out right then and there. But give me a bill. Like, so if your car is about to be taken away, give me that bill, right? For one, let me see what type of car you drive.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to say, oh, you need to sell this car.
But I think also it's like, where do you live? Do you need a car right now?
Oh, yeah, bike.
Are we living in a city?
But
we can just not have a car, friend. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Let's strategize. I'm a strategy type person.
Blair will sit down and strategize with you. Me, it might be, and some people can understand this because some of us has been the rich friend and some of us has been the broke friend. In my life, I have been the rich friend where I've been on the mountaintop, and I've been the broke friend when I'm looking up at the mountain, right?
Same.
But when I've been on the bottom of the mountain, I did not act like I was still on top of the mountain, right? So basically doing birthday dinners and trips and things like that, I took myself out the group chat. Like, I don't need to know what y'all doing, you know? But once I got back on top of the mountain chat, I said, where we eating at? You know what I mean? But I think we need to normalize, hey, this is a season in my life to where I'm going to shut down this Instagram. I'm going to shut down trying to impress everybody.
I gotta say no to
and
stuff.
I'm going to go buy this bus pass and get in line with this unemployment check. And guess what? I'm happy she's in a better position now.
Yeah.
But yeah, stop giving your friends that are money pits money.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all.
Hey, we see y'all next time.
Bye.